of the things that you see as challenging when you're sitting at home thinking about it now aren't going to be challenging once you get here. Um, when I was told that I'd be living in a hut and I might not have electricity and I'd be using a pit latrine and those sorts of things, I thought that that would be hard. But those are the things that you get over pretty easily. One of the biggest challenges that we face is getting people motivated because nothing is going to happen if you don't give people an incentive.
Things just happen on a slower schedule, and my definition of productive has had to kind of change a bit because projects, anything you want to do just may take a little bit longer because there's more obstacles and it's harder to get at the resources you need.
I think for me, adjusting to the role of women here in Swaziland has been difficult. Just like always having to wear a skirt in my community, or just sitting on the floor when the men are sitting on a chair. Adjusting to that has been a little difficult. But also just adjusting to living with a family.
I had my host family come in every night and make sure I was shutting my windows properly and locking my door properly and that I was taken care of. And your family cares about you very much here, so they can be very in your face. But I worked out kind of a system with them where they know I like being alone, and now it's really nice because I have a family who cares about me very much and they're willing to help me out with anything I need.
Remember that if you are a shy person in America, you are probably going to be shy in Swaziland. Some of us are just sort of shy and retiring types by nature, and, we need our time to ourselves. And it's taken me a long time to not feel guilty about that. It's important to force yourself to get out and talk, especially to your family, because I think that they represent you in the community to some extent. So it's really helpful to just go and sit with them and hang out,
I think living in a fishbowl, you're always kind of in the limelight, and that's very unusual. I mean, you can't hide in a crowd in Swaziland.
Not being able to talk about political things. Okay, you have friends here, you have Swazi friends, and you have your Peace Corps friends, but the way I see it is like they're more colleagues. The biggest adjustment is being okay with being alone like that.
A lot of times I handwrite friends back home letters. Just sitting there to take the time to write makes you feel like you're a little bit closer to them. I've also just taken up new habits, like I'm learning the guitar and doing things like yoga, all sorts of things that just take your mind off of being alone.
You don't really feel the need to be out with a whole bunch of different people. You kind of just accept it and get used to, the slower way of life here.
I think the most difficult thing for me has been kind of the loss of identity that I've felt. A lot of the things that I did on a regular basis in the U.S. aren't things I can do here. Like, I worked out a lot, I played in a sport league, I hung out with family a lot. But I think just not feeling like you even know who you are because you don't have as much of a compass that you used to have.
People are a lot more open with like body images, so you get comments that you would never get in America, and it's hard to just like step back and be like, okay, that's cultural. So the body image is kind of a hard thing to deal with at times. Just comments, and that's everyone. If you're skinny, if you're overweight, anything, you're going to get comments, and some of them are just friendly. A lot of times it's just meaningless, but to an American, when you hear it, you're just like, what? There are a lot of really positive things, like serving in Swaziland, but you will deal with death. It's affected every single person in my group, and I know it's already affected Group 7. So it's something that you will deal with, and it's hard. And it may be someone you're close with, it may be someone in your community, it may be a child, it may be an elder. You will know someone that has died, and that is the number one, I think, challenge going in here.
My biggest challenge is the apathy that I see most people feeling. It's a very relaxed culture, and so I think that plays a big part of it. But everything is no problem and no big deal, and we'll get to it. It'll happen. But the hardest part is seeing people who are just so apathetic about what's happening in their country. that there's not a lot of motivation to make things different. And so it's sad for me to see people not caring sometimes.
When you care so much and then you can't make someone care, which is really hard.
But it's something that they've like lived with for a long time, and it's just part of their life now. Like seeing people get sick and seeing people die often is just something that's very normal to them.